Well, before we get into today's guests, I want to set up a bit of context for what we're trying to build here. This platform is not about telling stories, it's not just about shifting outcomes. We've got the Island Athlete Development Program in motion right now, backing riders like Tino Tucker Wall from Bermuda. Getting them off the islands, getting people off the islands and onto real stages where they can test themselves properly. That comes with support, but it also comes with friction. There are people out there that get it, and there are people who just don't. Some back it, some question it, and some sit on the sidelines, wanting it to fail, just seriously out of jealousy. So, Shakai and I, before we get into this discussion with Brett Wilkinson, Shakai and I, we're working hard behind the scenes to just help riders out. But, I have seen messages from people, and people have got a hold of me that are just complaining about why we chose Tino and why we didn't choose their kid, or all that sort of stuff. And I mean, it goes without saying the reason we didn't choose them is, well, because they don't want to act like dicks, to be honest. So we're going to touch on a bunch of that stuff coming shortly, but right now we're going to spend some time with sidecar cross hero, Brett Wilkinson out of the UK. Like I said, we spend a lot of time talking to people from islands all over the world, the Falklands, Gozo, Indonesia, Ireland, and plenty more, different places, different conditions, same core passion for motorsports. And that's this didn't start out as a grand plan. It started because I had something to say and I needed someone to hear it. So this is how this whole podcast came about. But welcome back to another edition of Island Talk, Talking Heads. Today we're stepping into the world of sidecar cross with a man who's carved his line through the chaos, the mud, and the madness. A pilot of precision, a survivor of the sideways, a specialist in the art of controlled instability. Brett Wilkinson, how are you?
All good over here, mate, in England. Yeah. So my name's Brett Wilkinson from England, like I say, and yeah, I ride in the World Cyclocross Championship.
So, whereabouts in England are you? Whereabouts in the balmy UK are you located?
Right on the south coast, so a place called Portsmouth.
All right, okay. I was in Portsmouth not so long ago with the family. We went down to Dover and around that area to see the White Cliffs.
But yeah, down there as well. Yeah, we're only like an hour from London, so it's a pretty good place to be.
Now, is there plenty of places to ride your sidecar or even motocross down there?
In England as a whole, really, is not much places to ride sidecars. Motocross bikes, yeah, solos. But for a sidecar, we have to venture over to Europe quite a bit to train and practice.
So I know there was a sidecar cross round in Ireland, um, 2023, maybe 2024. Did you go over for that, or are they fairly open to riding sidecars over there?
Yeah, I made the trip. Yeah, it was part of the World Championship, so I think it was round seven or something. But yeah, they tied it together with the English Grand Prix, which made it a lot more um, better logistically for the teams coming from like Latvia, Estonia, Russia, and places like that. But yeah, it was pretty good. They're quite inviting over there. Um, and they've got quite a good championship themselves, so they've got some quite good riders.
Yeah, yeah. But well, before we get into it, I know we deal with McGilligan MX Park that's over there. I think it's near Londonderry, up the, what would that be, northwestish area,
Yeah. Yeah,
um, of Northern Ireland. You got to get in touch with those guys, McGilligan MX Park, and see if they'll let you come out and tear the track up on your sidecar.
yeah,
Maybe you can get a
definitely.
round going over there.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, because we always rode Desert Martin. That was always a good track. And then in 2022, we was last over there for a British Championship. That was at Tandragee. That was pretty good as well.
Nice, nice. Yeah. Yeah, so well, we may as well get into it. So it looks like I have only just been texting back and forth with you, so I don't know the ins and outs, but it's great to have you on. So your father and uncle were Grand Prix level riders, solo or sidecar?
Yeah, so my dad was quite a high level solo rider in England, and he got offered like a KTM deal in the 80s and stuff, which now he says he regretted because he turned it down because he wanted to ride straight to 500s from 125s.
Okay.
But KTM offered him a deal riding the British Championship and some Grand Prix on a 125 KTM. And he said that was his biggest mistake ever, really. He wanted to be the big boy and get to the 500s. So he'd done it on his own, sort of thing. But yeah, he was a good rider. And my uncle as well. He was a 500 British rider as well. So they was both pretty handy on the solos. And then, yeah, then my dad went over to sidecars in 91, I think, just before I was born. And then my uncle joined in 93, I think. So they was both riding sidecars same time in the British Championship and Grand Prix, yeah.
So you touched on that you mainly have to go to Europe to ride and stuff. Is there still a British sidecar championship going on?
Yeah, yeah, we had a round last weekend at Cullermere. It was only in Oxford, so we won both races there, which was a good start to the year. It was the first round.
Nice, nice. And your sidecar guy is Joe Miller, right?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, he's from Somerset, so like the west of England, really.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So you know, why sidecars and not solos for you? Why did you decide, hey, I'm going to do this sidecar thing instead of the motocross thing like your uncle and dad started out doing?
So like I rode solos till I was uh I think I was 15 or 16, and then I tried to ride a sidecar with a friend of mine, um, who also rode solos, and then Ryan Humphrey, and we were pretty fast straight away. And everyone was saying, "Oh, you two should ride together. You two should ride together." And then that winter, we sort of decided that we'd buy a bike, and then we'd have a go at racing the year after, which should have been like 2009, a long time ago now. Um, yeah, then it all went from there really. Like I was going to be solos, but being around like the sidecar paddock all the time when you're growing up as a kid, it seems like more natural really to go that way. Yeah.
Nice, nice. And what's so when did you first jump on the sidecars? Did you do the like the I see, the PWs have got some sidecars
But yeah,
on
yeah, I was
site.
3 years old.
Okay.
3 years old, my dad built me a PW50 sidecar. Um, yeah, that was cool. We've actually still got it, so that's even cooler.
Nice, nice. So,
Yeah.
did you have?
Yeah.
Because my brother started off with a sidecar. I had a motocross bike, a little Italjet from Italy,
Yeah.
and he had a sidecar. But my dad bolted a big old weight on the side to hold the
That's it.
sidecar. Is that what you had as well?
Yeah, well, so basically, as I've got three brothers as well, so there's four of us, but there's three of us real close together in age. So I was always like, I always had a passenger about, if you know what I mean. But if not, yeah, Dad would bolt like a weightlifting weight on the sidecar so I could keep going on my own, sort of thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice, nice.
Yeah.
So when did you guys? I mean, have you always done the sidecar thing, or have you gone over to raced solo a little bit back and forth, or it's just been strictly sidecar?
Yeah. So I raced solos right up until I was 16, really, and then I did have a few goes on a quad as well. Between then, and I do sometimes go back and have a little ride on a solo, but not a lot because I worry a bit about my knees, putting my legs out and stuff.
So speaking of injuries, I mean that's the craziest. When I think sidecar, the first thing I think is, oh, this thing's going to land on me. I'm going to die. You're kind of the opposite. What's the big injuries that you've gone with the sidecars?
Yeah, how long we got? I've had quite a few. Yeah, I've done in my first year on a sidecar, I'd done my back pretty bad over in Belgium at a support race. Done three vertebrae there and had them fused together, operation and pins in there. And year later, my leg and my shoulder. I've done my collarbones probably three or four times each. I've done my leg, I've done my ACL, I've done my back again in 2019. But
Wow.
my wrist, my arm, yeah, I've done quite a lot for. Yeah, people always say I've probably been the most injured out of the whole Grand Prix paddock, really. But yeah, I've kept coming back. So yeah,
And how long's Joe been with you? I mean, has Joe been with you through all those crashes, or has he come along and kind of gone, "Oh, I don't really care about the history of Brett and all his crashes. I'm going to jump on there anyway."
yeah. Joe come along. We started riding together. I had done my knee in 21, quite bad when it was all COVID going on. Like all you could ride really was like local races and smaller races. And I ended up riding with someone, and I actually ended up doing my knee, my ACL, pretty bad, and my leg and other stuff. And then I spoke to Joe that day, and then we agreed that we'd ride in 2022 together. So we've done 4 years already together and won 3 British titles in it. So it's been good, really.
Nice. And as is he exclusively your sidecar guy? Like you're not, going over to Europe and having to find someone else or put someone else on there. Unless there's an injury, he's the guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So basically, yeah, it's like a unwritten rule, really. When you say you're going to ride with someone, you're riding with them and them only, really. Until like obviously, if an injury happens or something, you speak to each other and sort out. Like sometimes, say if I get injured, he'll need to keep his fitness up, and vice versa, really, and bike time. So yes, um, yeah, it's just a mutual agreement, really, like a verbal agreement. But yeah,
So with the agreement that comes, between you and Joe, obviously you've got to be working in time together and, you know, build up, respect and trust between each other while you're on the bike. Is that how you market yourselves as well? Is, hey, this is the team of Brett and Joe and whatever you happen to call your race team? Is that how you go towards all your sponsors and everything as well? Is it essentially 50-50 or keeping the bike going?
yeah. So um, basically, the team's called Wilkinson Racing Team, but when people say about us, they'll say Wilkinson Millard. Um, but to be honest, um, not going to sound rude, but the driver is 9 times out of 10 the person who pays nearly everything.
Hmm.
So yeah, we buy the bike, we do the bike, we have the truck, we do all the travel expenses, we do all the kit, everything really. And yeah, the passenger obviously there's very few that are good enough to do it at the top level. But yeah, they all you ask really is for them to be as fit as they can be and help out where they can really.
So based on that, obviously I'm recording this from the US, and there's not a lot of sidecar cross in the US. Or zero sidecar
Yeah.
cross in the US, and there's some islands that are very interested in it. You know, where does where do you feel the control sits? Is it 50-50, rider and passenger? Is it 70-30? Like, I definitely don't want to step on Joe's toes and say, hey, you're only putting in 10% effort. It's not very good. You need to step it up a little bit or anything like that. But where does it actually sit that, obviously you're steering where the bike's got to go, but if he doesn't do his job properly, you're going to
Yeah,
ask
I
for
think
trouble.
it's it's pretty close, half half really. But obviously, I've got the controls and I'm turning the bike where it wants to go. But the passenger does have a big influence on the jumps. They'll have a big influence on how it takes off, how it lands, what it's doing in the air. They can control a lot of that to a certain extent. And obviously certain corners, if they don't do it right, you won't get round the corner fast enough. Yeah, it's quite difficult to say really. Yeah. Um it's very close, like 50-50, really, because you can't go fast without a good passenger, and he won't go fast if he ain't got a good driver, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. So what's the signal? I assume you guys have a signal for Joe's not ready to clear this. I don't know. 70-foot tabletop. He's not ready to do it. He's not in the right position or whatever. You're the guy with the throttle, and you're the guy lining it up. How does he let you know that, hey, if you send it this time, I'm going to fall off? Or do you just
He don't. It's funny. You'll laugh. He doesn't say a word, and he a lot of the time he'll be the one telling me to hit stuff like really big. So yeah, it's they're a special breed, that's for sure.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, if he's telling you just hit it, and I'll try and hang on. Yeah, that's a good way to
Yeah.
do it. But I guess that's what makes a good world
Yeah,
champ
he's never ever
rider.
questioned the jump. He's never questioned. If I said to him, Joe, I think I could jump that, he'd say, yeah, I'll have a go at it then. Do you know what I mean? He's not, he's real confident in what we do. So that's the main thing.
So being such a close knit team, and you guys, you've been riding together for whatever it is, 4 years, or coming up on the fourth year or fifth year or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Do you show up at a race and it's just not jiving? It's just for whatever reason, uh, Joe's a little bit off with you, or you're a little bit off with him, and it's going to be a bad thing. Or once you put the helmets on, it's hey, we've got a job to do, and we just get it in sync and get through.
Yeah, to be honest, we always, luckily till now, we've always managed to show up on the day. We always get on, always have a laugh off the bike, which I think helps a lot. You've got to have a laugh around the racing, otherwise you wouldn't really be worth doing, if you know what I mean. No, there's some tracks in the world calendar that you go there and you're not going to be in the top three places just because of how the track suits a left hand sidecar, which the British people ride a left hand sidecar, and it yeah, going there you'll be doing well if you come out of there with 2/5. Do you know what I mean? You sort of agree in your own heads that'll be fine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So you did touch on something that I hadn't, you know, considered asking you. What is obviously there's a difference between a left-hand sidecar and a right-hand sidecar, but why would someone choose one over the other? Is it just kind of historics? It's what everyone's always done, or does
Yeah.
someone choose one specifically for, uh, you know, hey, we need it because of this?
Yeah, no, it would be nice if you could pick different size sidecars for different tracks. But to be honest, it's like trying to write with your left hand or whatever. It's so difficult to change sides. And yeah, it's historic really. Like English, we drive with a right hand drive car, so the rider's on the right. But it just seems funny. Like the Swiss, they also ride left-hand sidecars like the English, and the Swedish ride the left-hand sidecars like English. But everyone else is normally on a right-hand sidecar. Yeah,
Huh. And just for no other reason than historically, that's what that country's always done.
yeah, basically, yeah. But now, like, there's a few Swiss teams coming through that are right-hand sidecars as well. There's not a lot of Swedes doing it now, but yeah. But when you get to a Grand Prix, you'll end up with like there's probably 6 or 7 left-hand sidecars, and there'll be 40 right-hand sidecars to try and qualify.
Now, obviously, the way you guys leave a rut in the corner is very different. I've ridden on a track that in Europe that the sidecars have torn up and been, you know, pretty pissed off that I had to ride on it because it had two grooves all the way around it. But with the left and right hand sidecars, and you saying, some tracks suit a right hand sidecar, some tracks suit a left hand sidecar. Does the track, um, kind of tear itself up and provide ruts that other sidecars just can't handle it? Like you said, you've got 40 right hand sidecars and 7 left hand sidecars. Are the 7 left hand sidecars definitely at a disadvantage because of the way the track kind of beds in?
Yeah, some like on hard pack, it's not too critical. Do you know what I mean? But the thing that will like determine on a hard pack track would be like jumps out of certain corners that you can't. Like we can jump long out of a left hand corner because you can be on the throttle early.
Hmm.
But if you've got like a massive tabletop out of a right hand corner, we wouldn't be able to get over it as such, but they can. So on the hard pack, it's not so bad, but in the sand, you'll see like a Dutch GP at the beginning of the race. We've got no lines because they flatten the track sometimes. Um, so like say there's 5 left hand sidecars and 25 right hand sidecars in the race. Their 1 lap round on that line will take us 5 laps round to do the same line. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like fives into 25. Yeah. So like their track gets rougher faster than ours. Their lines get rougher faster than ours. But our lines come better at near the end of the race. So you'll always see it at Dutch GP. We'll start making moves from like 20 minutes to 30 minutes in. So yeah, it's funny how it works, but yeah, a lot of the time you feel a bit of a disadvantage on a left side car, that's for sure.
Okay. Okay. So speaking of passing, obviously you're a lot wider than a single bike. Is the block pass still just a tool in your arsenal that you need to use to get past on a sidecar? I mean, obviously, it's a lot harder to move 2 people in a big old bike and a sidecar. But do you just look for a gap, or can you push your way through, or is it a bit of both? Like that's
Yeah, obviously you can set up a pass, um, but you need to set it up a few corners before. But there's some people out there that just ride through you; they just don't really care. But um, yeah, a lot of rubbing goes on at a Grand Prix, I suppose. A lot of not ramming as such, but you sort of go down the inside and stop their passenger getting out, or yeah, you can set up moves. The tracks are a little bit wider, and especially with the left right sidecars, you've got a lot of different lines. So sometimes you can pass them without even getting near them. Do you know what I mean?
yep.
Yeah.
So you're a 4-time British champion. I think I've got that right. 4-time British champion, and obviously done pretty well in the worlds and won a world championship round, I think, in Germany in 2024. Like you, I don't even. You like a Lewis Hamilton of the sidecar world, and you're making more than enough money to survive, and you're a millionaire off the back of a sidecar, or are you going to work every day?
No, I'm going to work every day. I'm nowhere near. I'd like um I'd like 1% of Lewis Hamilton's money. No, I work every day. I'm a car mechanic, like MOT tester. Yeah, we race back from Grand Prix. Like we'll ride in Germany on a Sunday, and we'll be back at work Monday morning working. It's far from. You don't make money out of it, that's for sure.
Is there I mean, obviously, there's going to be rich parents, and their kids are racing, so they don't have to go to work and stuff. But is there anyone that you could think of in the sidecar world that hey, they can do this? There's enough money for them that they're making in the sidecar racing that they can just do. Hey, I'm a professional sidecar racer, not a semi-professional. Like this is all I do for a job. Does that exist?
Yeah, there's a few in Europe, like over the water, that have massive sponsors, and they haven't got to worry about diesel costs, bike costs, tires, bike fuel, kit. They don't have to worry about none of that. They just got to turn up and ride. So yeah, so there's not many, but there's a few that have got real good sponsors. So yeah, the thing that ruins it for us is the ferry that we have to get every time.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's you got to put. I would assume some kind of motorhome and trailer and everything on there to get a massive sidecar across, and that's got to be
Yeah,
expensive.
yeah. So nearly every time now is near on £500 every time. So yeah, just that's just the
Wow.
water.
And that's return, or is that just get you over there?
Yeah, that'd be returns. there's £500, and then you got all your fuel and everything on top of that. So yeah, it gets a bit expensive.
Well, with any chance, the 15 people that listen to this podcast, they'll all pitch in and we'll buy you a rig on the other side of the water, and you
Yeah,
can
it'd be
just
nice.
that. Yeah, yeah. Someone out there's got some money.
Sorry,
So someone out there's got to have some money so they can help out, pitch in somewhere.
Lewis
So
Hamilton could help.
yeah, I'll give him a call. Um,
Yeah,
so what separates, when you go to the World Championship, you're a four-time British champion, but when you go to the World Championship rounds, what separates, your level from, let's say, the top guys, or are you battling towards the top all the time? I know you've won a round, and you've been towards the front, but is there a distinct difference between, well, first I need to ask, is there a team that's, leading all the time that can pretty much be counted on to win all the time, or is it, you know,
no, no. At the minute, there's probably this is it's the best it's been for a long time. Really, there's probably 7 or 8 teams in that race that can win a race.
nice?
So it's good to watch at the minute. Like last year, we went to the last World Championship round, 6 points off the lead, and we was third. Um, yeah, it was good. It's the closest the World Championship's been in 40 years or something. They said so. That was good.
So how many rounds did you have to ride and you lost by 6 points the whole shooting match? How many rounds is that after?
10 rounds.
Oh wow, there's as many 10 rounds.
We've got
10
12 this
different
year.
countries.
So the 12 this year is, I think, 9 different countries. Yeah, because Germany's been greedy and had 3.
Oh, where's the German ones? I rode, or I went to a round that was in Kleinau.
Yeah, we got a Grand Prix there.
Okay, that's a rocky old track.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's going to go, to be honest, because it seems a bit tight for a sidecar, like a modern sidecar. They race the old sidecars there, but hopefully it'll be good. But we got one at there, one at Ruddersburg, and one at Strasbessenbach, which Germany's good. The tracks are nice in Germany.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, the one that I went to at Kleinau, you were right. It was a vintage sidecar race, or a vintage sidecar championship, and it was pretty cool to see. But even then, the first turn is a right-hander, I think,
That's it.
right-hander that's kind of up a
Yeah,
little bit of the hill, and there was
yeah, it's fast.
yeah, there was a massive pile up there because
Was
yeah, yeah, I
that a
think.
night race? Was that the night race?
No, no, it was 2007. I can't even remember what month it was. It was probably August or September or something. But yeah, it was a massive pile up in the first turn. I remember that, and picking sidecars up off each other and all that sort of stuff to get going again.
Yeah.
But I do remember I took a photo of the starting line. I was standing on the starting line for the start of one of the other races, and I took a photo of the starting line and all the rocks and everything, and sent it back to my friends in America and said, "Yeah, you guys wouldn't even line up on this." And they said, "Yeah, yeah, that's not a motocross track. We wouldn't be anywhere near that. You can't have that."
No, no. Yeah, we got Grand Prix there, so you'll be following. Some of the engines are like a 700 single cylinder 2 stroke, so they'll be like bullets.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So what's your, and you don't have to get into specifics, Brett, or anything like that. I don't want to know how much you're spending, but what's your budget look like for the 12 world championship rounds? Have you got that nailed down, or are you kind of scraping it all together before you get on the ferry to head over?
Yeah, so to be honest, I don't really. We obviously get help from different people, but yeah, the biggest worry for me right now is the fuel,
Yeah, yeah.
because not all of the fuel, but probably um 2/3, 3/4 of the fuel I have to buy myself from my own pockets. Yeah, it's a bit of a worry.
When do you need to head off for the first round?
We leave Wednesday night, this coming Wednesday. That's down That is for us is 750 mile each way. 1,500 miles at yeah, 10 to the gallon. It's not good.
No, not good at all. Where's that? Italy, Spain?
Oh, the near the border, like down by Toulouse, so not far from Spain, really.
Okay.
But yeah, the fuel prices is crazy at the minute, isn't it? So
Yeah, I don't want to comment on that.
no,
And who's
no,
causing all that? Because there's a lot of yeah.
yeah,
Don't want to get
yeah,
into that.
no, no.
So 2024 Germany GP win. Take us through that. How did that come about? What went wrong? What went right?
Brilliant. So that year we was having a lot of we was on a AMS engine that year, built in Holland, costing us mega money, kept going wrong, and it got to it got to July, I think it was July. July we was leading the race in Lommel, Belgium in the sand, and the engine blew up. Then we got it rebuilt, rode the next week in French GP, riding real good. Last lap with 3 corners to go, engine went again. And then I said to my dad and everyone, I said, right, that's it. I've had enough of that. That's done. And then we went to this engine I'm riding now is a Swiss P Power Husky 640. So we went. So I said, I'm going to them. So I rung him, sorted it out, took the bike to Holland where the frames are made, to the frame builder, Daniel Williamson. Had the frame changed to take this different engine. And then we went the week after we went to a German championship to try it out and see how it went. We won both races there. And then we went to the German GP the week after and won the qualifier, second in the first race and won the second race. Yeah, it couldn't have got much better. It was so nice to do it. And then the Italian Grand Prix the week after we were second. Yeah, we had a real good end of 24, which was nice, really.
Nice. And Joe was obviously along for the ride with that one.
Yeah, yeah. So he'd never won a Grand Prix either. So it was our first and only Grand Prix so far. Earlier in the year on that engine that we was riding, that's where we won our first Grand Prix race from the 2 heats. We won the second heat on a Sunday in the deep sand. We're only the second British person to ever win a Dutch Grand Prix race, I think. So that
Oh
was
wow.
cool.
Yeah, that sounds awesome, mate. So obviously end of 2024, like you said, started to kind of come around and you did, you know, started to do really well. You won a round in Germany, and then 2025 you finished third overall, only down by 6 points. So the is the program getting better and better, or is I mean, I don't want to say did you luck your way into that, or is it definitely a better program? Is it that you and Joe are starting to jive better, or is it just you know consistent little improvements that have got you there, or was that always where you were headed anyway?
Yeah, so like 2024, I think we ended up fifth in the world, but we'd had like quite a lot of issues. So like when we went to this new engine, we just said like if we can be reliable and finish every race, we'll be in with a shout of a world title. That's what we said at the start of 2025. Well, we finished every race last year, even the qualifying races, and we ended up nearly winning the world title. So it just shows you like how consistency matters so much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. You know, with that first, are you running the same setup that you ran through 2025, or is it kind of like the motocross where we have this new fancy fangled new thing just for the sake of having a fancy new thing, or you pretty much stuck with, hey, we're going to run the 2025 setup through 2026?
Yeah, so basically I've kept the same engines because they're obviously all big money as well. But kept the same engines. We get a new chassis every year because they get quite a lot of stick really for what they do. Um, and we've just made a few adjustments with like ECU mapping and stuff, but we've kept the same engine, so we just want to be reliable again, really, if we can.
Yeah, exactly. So, how are you feeling heading into obviously this first round? Are you guys prepped? Is there a new person on the block that's coming along? Is how's that all looking and feeling going into this round coming up?
You know, I feel confident. We had a bit of a crash in Holland about a month ago, and Joe damaged his ribs, and I hurt my coccyx, my tailbone. Uh, Other than that, yeah, I've had a real good winter. So's Joe, training wise. We're fit and healthy, and we're pretty ready to go. Really, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's nice to get the first one in because then you suck a yeah, you know where you are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of the crash, and this is just genuinely for my own information, but you know, working as a team, obviously you and Joe have got to jive together to get the bike around the track pretty fast and all that sort of stuff. If Joe makes a mistake, you're crashing and getting hurt. If you make a mistake, you're crashing and possibly both getting hurt. How hard is it to? And again, Joe's not here, so he can't defend himself. But you know, how hard is it to go? Oh, Joe was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and we crashed, and now I'm hurt, or he's hurt, or we're both hurt, or whatever, and just go. You know what? We got to move on. How hard is that to go? That the other person made the mistake, but I've got a broken wrist now.
To be honest, yeah, when you've got like a real good passenger, you don't really look at it like that. Do you know what I mean? You just think, oh, we've made a mistake together. That's how it is. Do you know what I mean? You don't really end up blaming each other as such because you're both trying as hard as you can. So you can't do no more than that, really.
Yeah, and that's probably the best way to look at it. That's kind of, I mean, I wasn't looking for an answer, but that's the best answer. I've never raced a sidecar, and I, I've always raced motocross, and when I fall off, I fall off and break a wrist, like I did that. I can't imagine, the guy sitting next to me that's trying his hardest made a mistake, and now I've got a broken wrist.
Yeah, you already feel really like bad, so you don't want to start telling them they've done wrong as well.
Yeah, yeah, and again, I don't know Joe, but you guys want to stick together for as long as possible, and be a pretty formidable team. So, you've obviously done some great things in the last 4 or 5 years, and you definitely don't want any animosity creeping in.
Nah, no, that could be the worst thing ever. Really, we've seen teams around the paddock that they fall out halfway through the year, and then it just goes from bad to worse. Really, then you don't enjoy riding, then you don't enjoy going there, and yeah.
So, with the fallouts, like you obviously have to have someone that you get along with, but actually has to be pretty damn good on the bike as well. Is there teams that that are out there that just genuinely don't get along with each other, but when they get on the bike, they know there's a job to be done and they can work side by side?
Yeah, there's a few stories like around the pits that like there's some brother teams and stuff, and you see them like fighting and arguing. Then the dads get involved, and then they start arguing, and yeah, it's quite. And then you hear some stories if there's another team. I won't say any names, but apparently they don't like riding together. They just do it because they enjoy the sport. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's you used to see back in not so much now, but back like when I used to go with my uncle and dad watching, you'd see passengers and drivers fighting each other and mechanics fighting each other. Yeah.
So, moving on to the sidecar cross of nations stuff. I mean, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but it looks like on the stuff that I've got is you 5-time podium with Team GP and had a race win and everything. What's the structure of that kind of event? Is there more than one? Excuse me. Is there more than one team that goes from Great Britain, or is you and Joe the sole representatives of Great Britain when you show up?
Yeah, so it's the same as solos. They'll pick the three fastest teams from England Holland, Belgium, and so on. And then it used to be the host country would get two teams, an A and a B, so they could have six riders. Yeah, so we it's a team of three, team of six men. Yeah, it's pretty. It's such a cool event. But now, the last I think it's 7 or 8 years, the USA quads have been coming over and dominating it. That's been pretty cool. They've been dominating obviously the quad side of it, but yeah, it's the same as the solos. You have like qualifying races on Saturday in your own groups, so you have an A, B, and a C rider. It doesn't matter your speed. Like, oh, I'm normally a C group rider. That's just because I'm the last race of the day on a Saturday in the sand because it's rough. Because I like the rough track. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't make you faster if you're a Group A or whatever. And then on the Sunday you have A and a B together for the first race, a B and a C together for the second race, and then the A and the C together for the last race of the day on Sunday. So you all get to ride with each other. And obviously, because sidecars are too wide, two bikes wide, um, we have a front and a back row. So 15 on the front and 15 on the back.
Okay.
So when you ride a Nations, it's the rules that you'll decide between yourselves, like Saturday night. I'll go off the front row, and the B group rider will go off the back row. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
It just depends what sort of strategy you want to use. But yeah, it's a cool event, that is.
Where's the sidecar cross of nations this year?
It's in France at by Dijon. It's a real good track as well, that is.
And
That'd be
same time as the solo stuff towards the end of the year, September.
yeah. So ours is September, yeah. Last weekend of September, I think it is. Which
Okay.
yeah, so you'll normally get the phone call in like July, start of August that you're in the team, and then yeah, it's cool. You obviously get all your numbers different for where you finished the year before. So like last year we were second, so you'll be number 4, 5, 6. So it's
So
yeah, it's cool.
so I mean you're I'm not going to tell the audience, but obviously you're in your mid 30s and that sort of stuff. What's the is there a plan, or are you just going to keep going till you run out of steam and money and stuff like that? Is there a I mean, you don't have to give your formal retirement speech here, but
Yeah, yeah.
is it looking like that you're just going to stay around as long as you can, or you got an exit plan, or don't let Joe know that you're exiting next week or anything? What's your plan for the future?
Yeah, no, so I've always said I'll keep doing it as long as I enjoy it. Mm, yeah, I'm 34 now, so I've been doing it quite a while. I've been doing it since I was 16, the sidecar. Well, 17, the sidecars. So doing it 17 years. Um, yeah, all the time I'm competitive. I think I'll do it. I wouldn't keep riding if I was not being disrespectful. But if I was riding round in 20th at a Grand Prix, that's not fun for me. I'd rather stay at home.
Yeah, 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 and save some money and save some fuel. But
Yeah.
what do the other
Yeah.
teams look like? I mean, you're like you said, you're 34. Are the other teams, around that age? Because motocross, especially, everyone back in my day was retired by the time you got to 26. If you were still going, you were the old man on the line. But now it's definitely different to that. I think even Eli Tomac, he's 33,
Yeah.
34, something like that. So
Yeah.
is sidecar getting to be the same?
Yeah, it's going that way. Like, yeah, me and Joe, are one of the older teams really now, but there's a few more out there, obviously a lot older than us, but um, yeah, so there's some young kids coming into it now. There's two Latvian twins brothers. They're only 17-year-old, I think. You got, but mostly all the teams are yeah, low 20s really. But yeah, they're all getting younger in it. Everyone's getting sports are coming on faster, aren't they? Yeah.
Well, Well, everyone's getting younger, but realistically, we're just getting older. So when the young ones
Yeah,
show up, you can't believe the kids
yeah,
are getting.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, what's the state of the sport? What's the future of sidecar cross that you see? Is it growing? Is it stagnated? Is it quietly dying? What's actually going on?
So there's the promoter WSC took over. Oh, I don't know, probably 10 years ago now. They've pushed it on to better things. Like now, you can watch it live on FIM TV on a Sunday. Like all your family can tune in and watch that. So that's cool. It's like live on that people can watch. And I think the social media and that and all the good photographers and camera people, they make it, yeah, make it a lot better. But I still think it could be better. Some like when you're at the races, some teams have real good presentation and some teams just don't really care. And you think, well, if you put a bit of effort in, you might get more sponsors or you might get more haters. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I definitely know what you mean. I've seen some pretty ratty people come and ask me why I don't sponsor them, and you're like, well, that question kind of answers itself. But yeah,
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 all you get is if you have a nice setup, like not being big headed, we got quite a nice setup in the pits. And then yeah, 9 times out of 10 it'd be people just get jealous rather than "Kai, you've got a nice setup." Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
But they don't
yeah,
realise that you're trying to push the sport on to bring bigger sponsors and bring people in to watch because people don't want to walk around a paddock with pop ups and gazebos in there, do they? They want to see proper race teams.
yeah.
That's the best thing about going to like an American Supercross. You could spend all day in the pits there.
Yeah, exactly, and that's like I led to in the introduction. What we're dealing with right now is I am of the opinion you don't necessarily have to win every race, but if you look good and your setup's good and your hauler looks good and all your team looks good and you're running around, second last, you're gonna get support. It's not necessarily about crossing the line first and looking ratty. That doesn't gather the support. It's all about the presentation. So I'm trying to get people educated that yeah, winning races is 50% of the work, but the other 50% is looking like you deserve the sponsorship that you've got and the support, and you do something for your sponsors. And that's always a hard slog trying to get people to understand that.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I get sponsors come there, you try and get them tickets. You give them food. Do you know what I mean? You give them something back. Whereas a lot of people just take the money and say, "Yeah, cheers for that," and it's done. Do you know what I mean? But like our bike, the logos on the bike, the logos on the shirts, on the awning, the truck, the posters, on your on your team wear, they get something out of it, and they can see where their money's going in the sport. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I've always struggled with someone handing a check over and they get a logo on your radiator shroud, which is 9 times out of 10 when the photo's taken, your knees covering their logo anyway.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
only time you're going to see it is when it's parked in the pits, and that doesn't mean anything. So
Nah, no, you got to be fair, and you got to be yeah. You've got to appreciate it and show them that you appreciate it. I think, but a lot of people don't. So
yeah, yeah, I was shown what the gentleman told me was the motocross's handshake many many years ago, and instead of an actual handshake, it was just a palm up, give me money kind of
yeah,
gesture. That's what they
yeah.
classed as the motocross's handshake. So yeah, I'm very very wary of that. How's that all come about in the world sidecar, you know, side of things? Is there still some? I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. I don't want to judge anyone, but is there still some kind of ratty teams that show up, or is everyone pushing for a more professional, more money making way of working?
Um, yeah, most of them put effort in, but I think people could put a lot more effort in, if you know what I mean. Stuff that doesn't cost money. Do you know what I mean? Like their bikes could actually look better. But the World Championship now is pretty good level, really. Everyone's bikes look good. All the teams look good, and they've all most of them's got like team clothing. So
Nice.
it's looking better, but yeah, it could still be better, but at least it's going in the right direction.
Now, with the world championship stuff, you know, if you become world champion in 2026, obviously it'll be down to this podcast that helped you out and everything. But if you become world championship or the world champion, do you and Joe just get a fat check and you can kick back and live the rest of your lives off that, or is it back to work Monday morning? How's that look for a world championship?
Yeah, back to work Monday morning. Yeah, that's all that is. Yeah, you get to go to the FIM gala, but that's about as glitzy as it gets. Really, you don't get no bonus as such from that. Maybe you'll get one from sponsors like an oil sponsor, like or helmet sponsor might give you a bit of a, I don't know, a couple of grand or if that. Nothing like a solo world champion or what a manufacturer would give you. You're back to work Monday morning. Like last year, we finished third in the world on Sunday, and you're back at work on the Monday, Tuesday.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
What does that look like as a team? Obviously, you want to represent yourselves as a team, and you want to be, you know, everything the same all the time. But do you have helmet sponsors that are hooking you and Joe up, or you know, do you get a sponsor? Let's say I don't know. Let's say Bell Helmets come along and say, "Hey, Brett, we want to hook you up," and you say, "Oh, you know, I'm part of this team, and you have to hook Joe up as well." And they say, "Oh, no, we just want to do you." Does that mean, hey, you've got to cover that stuff for Joe to look the same, or do you kind of
Mm,
break from
yeah.
each other
So
and go, hey, I wear a bell and he wears an Arai or something?
no, no. So when you we're in 60 helmets, American. Um, so that be done as a team. So you'll go to them that you're a sidecar motocross team and you need this many helmets and these colours like together, same as the kit. We're an O'Neill kit. And you get the same amount of pairs each, same as the gloves, fist gloves. Yeah, they help you as a team, so that's good. Yeah,
Nice.
because there was years ago. I don't know if you know Daniel Williamson, the 10 times world champ.
I've
Red
heard of
Bull,
him.
Red Bull sponsored him and his passenger, and then it got to a time, and Red Bull said, "We only want to help Daniel Williamson, the driver, not the passenger." So he used to wear a Red Bull helmet, and the passenger used to wear a plain white Arrow helmet, which looked a bit
Interesting.
strange, but yeah. Yes.
And how long did his passengers stick around after that?
Well, he was paid anyway, so it didn't really matter to him. As so, like the Red Bull money went in the pot for the racing, so I don't think it changed as such anything there. But yeah, it was just a bit strange, really.
So obviously, I think you said your team was, what was it, Wilkinson Racing? But everyone
Yeah,
refers to it as Wilkinson. Uh,
yeah, at the
what
race to be good to Millard. Yeah, yeah,
do you feel, and again, I don't want to cause a rift or anything, but do you feel like the driver um, gets top billing and should get top billing, or should it always be 50-50? You know, the passengers obviously holding on for dear life and doing, like we discussed, 50% of the work the majority of the time if it's a good passenger. So how do you feel? You're probably a little bit of a different case because you know you're kind of covering the bike and the majority of everything. But how do you feel it should be if you know the passenger brings in 50% of the sponsorship and the driver brings in 50% of the sponsorship? Should the driver get top billing, or how does that work?
that'd be a dream if you could go 50-50. No, I think it's fair now that it's fair in the results, everything reports, and that you're classed as half because you're both on the bike, risking the same thing, doing the same thing. So I think it's fair that you're both always like labeled as half. Do you know what I mean? You're a
Yep, yep.
team. Yeah.
And is that realistically how it happens, or is there drivers? I guess you guys are calling them, and rather than riders, but drivers out there that are, you know, hey, I'm captain important, and the passengers, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, there's plenty of them. There's plenty of them out there. They treat them like, yeah, they treat them rubbish as well. And there's no need for it. You're there as a team. You're there to do well. And like I've said, like you're not there making millions. Be different if it was a job, then maybe be a bit different. But um, yeah, you're there to enjoy it and do your best you can. So no point to be horrible to your passenger or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Especially if I mean, you've got his life in your hands, and vice versa. So you
Yeah,
might as well be as nice as you can.
yeah,
Well,
exactly.
well, we're getting ready to wrap up here, Brett. Anything that you want to say? Anyone you want to thank? Obviously, other than Joe. I mean, I think Joe's going to get more than enough thanks from everyone. But anything you want to add?
No, yeah, my dad. He's always he's the reason why like we had all the finishes last year. He's the chief mechanic, if you want to call him that, for the bike and that. And he works hard as well. So it's nice that it's nice that he's part of it, and I see him a lot. That's nice, and obviously all the family, friends, and that big support.
Any how many sponsors you're rocking? Any main sponsors that are footing the bill for you to get over this time that you need to worry about? Or do you want to thank the American government for those gas prices?
Yeah, yeah. No, obviously I got O'Neill 60, Whitings. They're like a big uh salvage company in Essex. They're a big help to me now as well, and some closer people like around, not my dad's friends, but like my dad's sort of age and era. They understand the cost of all the racing and that, and they will help me as well. So it's good. I got some good people around me. So
That's awesome to hear. So,
yeah,
well, I guess we're going to wrap it up. We'll call it a day, Brett. We've been jabbing and jiving for coming up on an hour. So, much appreciate to have you on. Would be amazing if you can, do some social media while you're going to the rounds and all that sort of stuff, and tag us so that we can see what's going on. But we'll, trickle it out on our social media as well through straight talk, no, island dot talk on Instagram, and we can trickle out what's going on. But it'd be amazing to see some behind the scenes stuff for when you go over to the World Championship. But
yeah, I will do definitely.
give
Yeah,
uh, give Joe our best because we didn't hear from him from today. But make sure he stays on and keeps you guys safe. And yeah, much appreciate what you did.
yeah.
And
I'll let him know, and I'll get him to come on your show.
yeah, 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 he can update us. You know, after the World Championship round, maybe if let us know
Yeah,
how you go, and we'll have him
yeah,
on.
yeah. Definitely, I'll let him know. All right.
Awesome. Great. Thanks.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much.
everyone that's listening, and much appreciated, Brett.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks. See you later.
Bye. Bye.
And for anyone else that wants to join in all the fun, you can go over to islandmotorsportsalliance.com and check on all the other podcasts and stuff. And then you can see our Buy Me a Coffee link, support the Island Athlete Development Program, and all the little bits and pieces. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.